And here is the molded shampoo. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today's video is super special because I'm going to be showing you my new process for making shampoo bars. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jerika, and on this channel I talk all about my soap and bath bomb business, all the ins and outs of how I sell the products, make the products, how I make this business run right out of my home. So if that is a journey that you're interested in, keep watching. I have been selling shampoo bars for a long time now. I would say about a year or so I have been selling shampoo bars, and I have gone through such an evolution from the very first shampoo bar I made down to what I currently do right now. And each step has been a decision based on my experience with them. I've had to change up ingredients. I've had to tweak my formulation. So I'm really excited to show you guys my updated and latest process and explain to you guys why I made those changes. And hopefully this video can show you guys how not to go through that really annoying trial and error process and just go straight to making shampoo bars that work and ultimately will become one of your best-selling products. So now without further ado, let's get to making some shampoo bars. I started off with DIY Bath & Body's recipe, which is actually a really great recipe. And since then, it is now very different, down to the process and down to the ingredients. And if you want to know the exact ingredients and the exact amounts and a step-by-step breakdown of what I'm actually doing here, you can go visit my Patreon. It's going to be linked down below. The number one main difference from my shampoo bar recipe today to what I used to do is the fact that I now use SCI in powder form. For those OG watchers of this channel who have been watching me for quite a while, you guys know I've been struggling to find some SCI powder because for me it was always sold out everywhere I looked. But I've since been able to get my hands on some, and I've made some shampoo bars with this instead of the SCI noodles. And I will say that the shampoo bars that I make with SCI powder, vast improvement to what I used to make with SCI noodles. Guys, editing Jerika here. I just wanted to jump in real quick because I just realized after editing this whole video that I did not even explain to you why I switched from SCI noodles to SCI powder. Here is the main reason. From the very beginning, since I've been making shampoo bars, I've been hearing this main feedback about them, that people love the formula, that they loved using them, except for when they got to about halfway through the bar. Because what would happen with my shampoo bars is that they would start to crumble. So that's why I actually moved to a bath bomb press, because I thought that my hand pressing it, I was using like a 3D printed plastic hand mold initially. And when I moved up to the bath bomb press, that made the bars a lot harder. But I still would get that feedback every now and then that the bars would be very crumbly. So I racked my brains and I realized that the reason why they were getting so crumbly is because of the SCI noodles. And even though I ground the SCI noodles to as fine of a powder as I can get, I would still get little pellets of SCI. And it was these pellets that wouldn't fully incorporate with the rest of the formula, leaving the bar vulnerable to crumbling when it got to about halfway or to the very end. Now, with using SCI powder, this problem is now non-existent. When I use the shampoo bars that I've made using SCI powder, I can get the bar down to a sliver, like literally a pancake, and it's still intact. And that is the main reason why I made the switch from SCI noodles to SCI powder. And I can't believe I didn't explain that to you guys, but so glad that I caught that before I uploaded it. And back to the video. The shampoo bar is going to be made mostly of this SCI powder. I do have other surfactants like SLSA and cocamide propylbutane, and of course I have hemp seed oil included in the ingredients. So if you want to see how this all comes together to make a really great product, keep watching. A quick note, if you're working with SCI powder or SLSA powder, breathing that stuff in is horrible, so have a respirator, and a good one at that, ready. A handkerchief over your mouth is not going to cut it. I really like this one because I can breathe normally and feel like I'm not about to die. So I got this guy from Uline. My very first step in making shampoo bars is combining all of my hard ingredients and my oils together in a large glass bowl like this. I use a 8-cup 2-liter baking bowl like this, and I melt everything down. And then once that's all melted down, I am going to add my SCI powder to that slowly in increments.
You could see yourself. You're sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you. You don't even notice. Should have told you straight away. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I know you haven't noticed. You know.
So I have my hard ingredients and oil melting down in the same pot. I have my SCI and other surfactants measured out in their separate bowls. And now the next thing I want to do is measure out my concomitant and dilute some water-soluble dyes in here to help bloom and activate the dye. And for today's shampoo bar, I'm making rosemary mint shampoo bars. So I will be using Fizz Fairy's apple green dye, which I only literally use a crumb of this stuff, and it is plenty to color the shampoo bar. Here, let me just show you what I mean by a crumb, because I literally mean a crumb. Just a little bit of dye, and that is enough to color the shampoo bar a nice pale green. So I've added the dye crumbs to my concomitant, and now I'm just going to dilute it and activate it so that it's fully incorporated. And I'll keep mixing until all of the crumbs are gone. So yeah, isn't that cool? So here are my solid ingredients fully melted. The next step will be to add my SCI and surfactants into this bowl. And I'm going to do this slowly over time, about 1 cup full of this powdered ingredient into here at a time. And the reason why we want to do that is because it's really difficult to get all of this fully incorporated into the small amount of liquid, and we want to keep the shampoo mix as fluid and liquid as possible. I made the mistake once of adding all of this at once, and it was super hard to get it all mixed in. So do it slowly over time, and if you're finding that the mix is getting harder and harder to mix, which it will, I like to zap it at 30-second blasts at a time until it's fully incorporated. So this is my shampoo base after 2 cups of that surfactant mixed in. I still have a long way to go, but you can see how it's starting to become harder and harder to mix in. And it will get to a point where it will be extremely difficult. And when it gets to that point, I'm going to start microwaving it in 30-second blasts to keep everything nice and melted and consistent. So after a while of incorporating the SCI powder into the liquid melted ingredients, this is what you get. This is a very thick, very paste-like consistency, and make sure that you're using a very strong spatula because you could possibly break the handle off of this thing. It's super hard to mix up. So now the next step is to wait until this cools down to below 140 degrees so that we can add our cool down ingredients. So I actually was not able to film me pressing my rosemary mint shampoo bars, but you're in luck because I was also doing a Georgian Bay shampoo bar at the same time, so I can show you my method with this guy. But this has now cooled down to the point where I could add my cool down ingredients, which I have over here. And it's cool enough so that if it's too hard to mix in, I can still zap it in the microwave to get it a little bit softer so that I can fully incorporate everything. So I think that's what I'm gonna do because already it's so hard to mix. But yeah, I will come back when I am ready to show you the next step. So I fully incorporated my cool down ingredients, which included my fragrance oil, my preservative, and now is the time to start pressing it. And you might ask yourself, well, isn't it a little too sticky to do that? I would say try it anyways, see whether or not your press is able to form these into bars at the stage. And the reason why I suggest that is because it's rapidly starting to cool down already. And you'll find that the cooler this stuff gets, the harder it is to press. And I'm saying that using a bath bomb press machine like this. So I would start to press this as soon as possible. If it's too soft, then you can wait just a few more minutes, but it will literally be every minute that goes by, it gets harder and harder. So I would start pressing them right away. And in terms of the mold, I'm going to be using the shampoo disc mold from the bath bomb press. And to prevent the shampoo from sticking to the mold, I'm going to be using some Ziploc bags like this that I like to reuse again and again for this purpose. And yeah, let's get to pressing these into some shampoo pucks. So for my tools today, I have a spray bottle filled with 99% isopropyl alcohol, and I will be spraying this onto my baggies to prevent the shampoo mix from sticking. I have my mold here and a scale, and that scale helps me make the shampoo bars all the same size, so that's good. So I like to start by tearing it, and then I put my baggie on top. I'll spray it with the isopropyl alcohol, and then I'll start spooning this mixture onto the mold over here. And I did have to tear it again because of the addition of the plastic on top. So when I'm scooping up mix, I'm aiming for the mix that's starting to cool down, so scraping the sides as much as possible and just going from there, because the lower in the mix you get, the warmer it is. So you want to try molding the mix that's already getting hard. And you can see from the edges, I don't know if you can actually see from over there, but I'm already getting some pretty solid shampoo bar mix. So I grab some in my spoon, and then I start to mold it into my hands here. And it is very sticky, but it's okay. Don't worry too much about that, because it is rapidly cooling down. And I like to measure out around 3 ounces per shampoo bar. And yes, my hands are pretty sticky. So once I measure out 3 ounces, I'll loosely start forming the shampoo into a little ball. So it looks like that. I'm gonna put it back on the mold. I'm gonna take my other baggie, spray it down, put it on top, and bring it over to my shampoo bar press, or my bath bomb press. And here is the molded shampoo. I'm going to show you that again so you can see the full method. I'm going to spray it down, collect the cooler shampoo bar mix on the top and the sides, form it into a loose ball. Again, I'm not worried that it's sticky because it's rapidly cooling down. And I measure out about 3 ounces onto my scale, and then form that into a ball. And when I'm forming it into a ball, I'm filling in all of the cracks with the shampoo. I'm kind of pressing it in so it's smooth, and that will help create a smooth shampoo bar. So see how that's smooth? That's good to go. Get my baggie. And it might jump on you there, but don't worry. So I'm going to peel this back. You can see I have a beautifully molded shampoo bar. So even though it was very sticky, I was still able to get a really great shampoo bar. And I'll clean up the edges later on. I'll show you how I do that. So here we have the finished pressed bars, and in order to clean up the sides of the shampoo bar, you can see here it looks a bit like an ice cream sandwich. I'm just gonna roll them along to flatten those sides, and then you get shampoo bar. Rolling it also helps to seal. Sometimes there's a little bit of a crack in between the two halves, and this seals it nicely. And rolling it also helps the shampoo bar get a nice rounded shape, in case you had some lopsided ones. I think I had a few lopsided ones. But in terms of how the shampoo bar looks, I'm not overly obsessed with having clean edges or having a completely smooth surface. I just want an intact bar. And there you have it. There are our shampoo bars. If you want the recipe for these shampoo bars, I have that on my Patreon. And if you want to join that amazing community and check out recipes, ask me questions, get guaranteed answers, you can go and check out that Patreon linked down below. And speaking of my Patreon, thank you so much to my Bubble BFF patrons who have pledged to have their names shouted out and also to have their businesses linked in my description box below. Please check them out. You guys are all owners of small businesses. You have that in common, so it's kind of cool to see everyone come together and we can check out each other's businesses. I think that's pretty cool. So if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and keep making beautiful things. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.